let's shift gears into another incomparable athlete. I think that's one way of putting it. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, remember that gentleman that played for the Chicago Bulls? I was really lucky because I was around Dennis a lot for 3 straight years when I was in Chicago working for NBC, right at the time that the whole Last Dance happened. I was really lucky because I worked at NBC and I followed the Bulls every single day. So I was interviewing Michael Jordan. We did a show with Dennis Rodman on Sunday nights in Chicago on NBC that was pretty epic. So now, during the pandemic, everybody saw The Last Dance. It was something that helped get us through that. That was a great documentary on ESPN and Netflix. It was fantastic seeing Michael in that light. But one of the biggest subplots or side stories that came out of that was Rodman in that final season, 97 to 98, when Scottie Pippen was out. Scottie Pippen missed 35 games. He was injured at the beginning of the season, and he had the contract squabble. He was unhappy. So he doesn't show up. Rodman was kind of holding down the fort without Pippen, having to work a lot harder, play more minutes, deliver more, and he needed a break when Scottie came back. So as we all know, that typically doesn't happen in professional sports where you ask for a vacation in the middle of the season, but Dennis Rodman is not typical. So he asked Phil. Phil ran it by Michael, and they said, hey, there's nothing we can do about it. He's going to go anyway. So let's say 48 hours, 2 days, you can go to Vegas and do your thing. So Rodman went out there.
Oh, man.
And he tore it up for 48 hours. So I'll get into more details about this, about what happened on that trip. But fast forward to 2021, and Hollywood is going to create a movie on that incident where Rodman left the team and went to Las Vegas for 48 hours. It's called 48 Hours in Vegas. I'll tell you what, I'm not loving most of what's coming out of Hollywood right now. They don't make movies for people like me. I'm looking forward to this and see what they do. Phil, when you saw this for the first time, when you heard the headline, when you dug into it a little bit, what do you think the potential that this could be a good movie?
Oh, I'm all for it. I mean, it's 2021. We need more massive entertainment. I'm right there with you guys. I mean, Last Dance, amazing. Yeah. I've watched it numerous times. I mean, through and through. And we always have that, man, I would love to party with Rodman just one time. Like, all my friends are like, dude, like, I would love to party with that guy.
Yeah.
And I have a theory that, he went out there, obviously, to decompress.
Yeah.
But, I have a feeling like maybe he was upset more than what he let on as far as the responsibilities that were on his shoulders and literally was pissed off. And Michael was told, to maybe go out there to pick him up because maybe Jordan, in my opinion, he's got on his players a lot. Mm-hmm. And I know that just watching Last Dance, you see how hard he was on people.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me behind closed doors that Jordan was an a-hole to Rodman at one point. And Rodman's like, you know what? All right, fine. I'm doing everything. I'm out. Yeah. And slams the door and goes to Vegas.
Well, I think Michael was probably thinking, if I don't go out there and get him, he's not coming back.
Right.
I'm the only one. He's not going to answer a phone call or an email. Hey, Phil, or hey, Dennis, we need you back. He's not going to do that. So you're a Hollywood guy.
Yeah.
Do you have confidence that whoever is producing this movie, and I think Lionsgate is distributing it, do you have confidence and faith that they can get this story right?
Do I have confidence? I don't know who made it. I looked at
it. Hasn't been made yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been made yet.
On the script
it's in development. Yeah. So, I mean, everything, with most films, it's a lot about who's writing it is the number one most important thing. Because even like a topic like this, I'm even trying to, in my head right now, I'm trying to think, okay, what's the angle? What is Dennis Rodman's actual need? Is it decompressed? Well, that's not a great story, right? No. That's not a movie. That's a documentary. And then the second part is, how does that actually get solved, actually knowing the storyline, right? So they are going to probably have to veer away from some of the truths, or if there's something hidden that we don't know
There's got to be something hidden. I mean, there has to be.
I don't see the movie.
Right. And for us to believe it, I mean, it's freaking Dennis Rodman. I mean, he was dating Carmen Electra.
Yeah.
He had all the friends in, sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's what Dennis Rodman was. I mean, he was in professional wrestling and during the season and whatnot. The stories, as long as they're authentic and we can actually get those stories from other athletes and celebrities, man, I think we're in for it. Good film.
And I think your high, your ceiling is going to be The Hangover, right?
Yeah.
If this is The Hangover.
It has to be, dude.
Then we're all very, very happy with it.
That's a high ceiling. Yeah. And you got to cast it right. I'll get into that in just a second. Here's a quote from one of the producers. Quote, There's only one Dennis Rodman. In 1998, there was nobody on earth who'd be more fun or maybe more dangerous to party with. And yet, that's not even half of who he is. The movie takes you on an unforgettable ride with the myth, the legend, and also the man that Dennis is. Behind everything you think you know everything about the worm? Just you wait. Okay, that sounds good in a press release and on a movie poster, but they've already said that they're going to take some liberties with facts and reality and what really happened. For instance, Rodman didn't go to Vegas for 2 days or for 48 hours. He was there for 5 days. He was there for 120 hours. And as Phil alluded to, the only reason he came back is because Michael went and got him. Michael flew to Las Vegas and picked up Dennis Rodman. Number two, it happened in the middle of the season when Scottie Pippen came back. In the movie, they're gonna make it seem like it happened in the playoffs. So, I mean, we saw Last Dance. Don't try to pull that on us. Okay, so then what are we supposed to believe in the movie? If you're going to take such liberties with the timeline, I mean, just say it's going to be a fictional movie then. I think they should have made this as a documentary and tried to just peel back with photos, with memories of people that ran the clubs, concierge, VIP
like
services in Vegas, and let's hear your stories. Because I don't trust Rodman's memory at this point with everything he's done over the last 20 years. Here's the other thing. How are you going to cast this movie to even make it remotely believable? I mean, the only guy I could think that could play Rodman, that maybe has the pizzazz, the personality, the charisma that could maybe pull it off is Kevin Hart. So they'd have to give him 17-inch heels, right, to pull this thing off. He's 5'3". How are you going to find anyone that can remotely provide what Rodman did as far as his presence? And I was around him so much and at a lot of night events because we would tape our show or we would do it live in NBC, and then it would always be go out with Rodman afterwards, even on a Sunday night. Here's the funniest. Some of the funniest things I remember about Rodman. You'd know he showed up in the studio because you could smell Benihana. Because he would come from Benihana, come right to the studio, and his leather jacket would be full of, would still smell like that because they were there for 3 or 4 hours. But, he has a big heart. He's a great guy. He was so much fun to cover, so fresh, so interesting, so dynamic. And that's why I think there's no chance Hollywood will get this right. Because there's a chance, if you follow Dennis Rodman around, you might get offended by something he might say or do.
Yeah, there's that part. Yeah.
Does Hollywood make movies where anybody is ever offended? So my personal belief is they're going to butcher this movie. They're going to screw it up. They're going to tarnish this great memory and what should have been an unbelievable recreation of it in a cinematic form. And I have zero faith that Hollywood's going to get this thing right. Hey, thanks so much for checking out that short clip from Sports Now with Tom Zenner. If you want to see another short clip, click right here. Or if you want to see the entire episode, click right here. Thanks for watching, everybody.